Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Nicole Germain. I am the Assistant Director for Promotions in the Office of National Collections. Thank you for being with us today. We have with us today Ed Kiley, who is the Director for the Solidarity Fund for the Church in Africa. And we also have with us, we're excited to introduce to you, Archbishop Gervas Nyiasongha from the Tanzania Episcopal Conference. We'll be talking to Ed first about the Solidarity Fund for the Church in Africa, and then we will be conversating with Archbishop. Ed, can you tell us a little bit about the Solidarity Fund and some of the programs that are supported through the fund?
Sure, yes. I work here at the Bishops' Conference of the United States here in Washington as the director for the Church in Africa program. So my role is to support the subcommittee on the Church in Africa, which is a subcommittee of 8 U.S. bishops. And the bulk of my job is managing the Solidarity Fund for the Church in Africa, which is a fund that is built through donations from U.S. Catholics and others across the country, primarily through a second collection that raises funds. And then we take those funds and we use them for grants to Episcopal conferences in Africa. And our grants are used for pastoral activities. So it's a spectrum of things such as leadership formation, youth programs, training catechists, continuing education of priests, justice and peace programs. So it's a spectrum of grants for pastoral activities for Episcopal conferences in Africa. So that's primarily what we do. The church is ever growing in Africa. It's the fastest growing part of the Catholic Church worldwide. So the needs are ever present. The church in Africa, from my experience, is very vibrant, very alive, very exciting. But they also have great needs in all the areas that I mentioned. So we establish relationships to help with those needs, but also to build solidarity between the church in Africa and our U.S. church here. So that's basically what I do in my role.
Wonderful. And I know that you've spoken about your work in Africa and the church in Africa itself. And you've mentioned, what's that word that you use to sort of describe the church in Africa, the enthusiasm?
Yeah, it's my favorite word. It's a word from the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Kikongo language, and the word is Tuyangalala. Just kind of rolls off your tongue. Tuyangalala, and it means we rejoice. We rejoice, and it's in a lot of the hymns and a lot of the ceremonies, etc. Tuyangalala, and then everyone shouts and celebrates at Mass and other celebrations.
So I know that we're going to talk to Archbishop in a moment, but how long has the Solidarity Fund for the Church in Africa supported work in Tanzania? And what are some of those programs that are supported?
Yeah, Tanzania, I think, is one of our pioneer programs since the very beginning. I think in the first year we started giving grants was 2007. May have been 2006, but in 2007 we did start with grants in Tanzania. And again, I think they've run the gamut, in many different areas. Some are basic capacity building for the Bishops' Conference. Others are more focused. For example, in a diocese, there may be a training need for youth ministers, right. Those types of programs. So it's really run, I think, the spectrum of the types of things we do in Tanzania.
Excellent. And also for the Solidarity Fund, I know that there's not a national date for it on the calendar. However, there are some dioceses that take it up at certain times of the year. What are those months that?
Yeah, I think sort of when you look at the curve of when they're given, I think the summer months tend to be July, August, where I think a lot of the dioceses have some space in their calendar, and they peg it for that date. So that's always a good time to try to get everybody together on the same page around that time is good.
Wonderful. So also the Office of National Collections produces materials that you can find on our website that promotes the Solidarity Fund for the Church in Africa. You can download posters and bulletin inserts and parish resource guides that are available on our website for the dioceses to use and the parishes to use to help promote the Solidarity Fund for the Church in Africa within the parish and the diocese. So now we're going to turn to Archbishop, and we're going to talk a little bit about the church in Tanzania. And can you just describe to us sort of what are some of the successes and the challenges that the church in Tanzania is currently facing?
Thank you very much for this very good question. I would like to begin with the word Tuyangalala. You have said Tuyangalala. It's a Kibantu word, I think. Okay. Because in our place also we have Kusangalala. Kusangalala means to rejoice.
Voila.
So
it's the same thing. Yeah.
So the church in Tanzania is a jovial community, a jovial church. People are happy despite of the difficulties here and there, but they are happy. So they are going towards you, the word you have chosen, yes. Tuyangalala. So according to your question, you want to know about the difficulties, some challenges we're having. Exactly, any community must face some challenges. The church in Africa, especially in Tanzania, in Tanzania, we can categorize our challenges into two major groups, the pastoral challenges and some social challenges. Okay. Pastorally, we face challenges, and we think these challenges are real. One of them is we are blessed by growing up vocations. Vocations are growing, are coming up. But our bigger challenge there is how to take a grip of those vocations and tend them until they mature. Right. The question of formation, because question of formation requires infrastructure, requires human resources, and other financial resources and other issues. So when it comes to taking care of this vocation so that they can grow, and then they are prepared, ready to serve the people, there we face a challenge. Because the blessing, but this blessing comes with some demands. Right. So in terms of pastoral aspect, I'm seeing this is a very big challenge. Besides that, we have also a good number of the lay people who really have interest, high interest, and also they are very influential in the church. The lay people. We have the catechists. Right. This is quite a significant group of people. We have the young people, especially children and the young people, the youth. This constitutes a bigger portion also of the members of the church. Of course, the Catholic women is another group which has high interest in the church, and some of them mainly have big influence in the church. So when it comes to pastoring them, then of course we face challenges on resources. I mean, adequate number of people, personnel, who can assist them pastorally. Of course, pastoral needs go together with some spiritual needs, also come along with pastoral needs and spiritual needs. So when it comes also to taking care of them and assisting them to grow in their Catholic life, sometimes we face some challenges because sometimes we can't be available to them to satisfy all their pastoral and spiritual needs. So from pastoral side, I can single out these two major challenges. Formation of the priests. I mean, our seminaries are overwhelmed. We need also to strengthen the seminary formation in terms of quality. Yes, we have the possibility of sampling good candidates for priesthood. That's easier because we have many applicants, so we can, according to principles, we can get the good number of them who are qualified. But then when it comes to infrastructure, of course, there we are challenged. But not only infrastructure, to prepare somebody to become a formator in the seminary, of course, we look at the academic life, also we look at the moral life of the person, all the things come together. So sometimes it's difficult to have good number of lecturers, of teachers, of formators in the seminary. So from pastoral side, I can single out these are two major things. Of course, we have other vocations growing up. The religious life for the sisters, brothers, they're also coming up. They face, in the same way, some challenges in formation of the of the candidates, infrastructural, formation, these things come in. But on the social side, we are facing also some challenges. Of course, we can connect with the socio-economic. Of course, we have a good number of people who depend on agriculture, and our agriculture is subsistence farming. So because of that, and it's mainly dependent on rainfall, on weather. So sometimes weather doesn't come friendly to the farmers, to the cultivators, so returns from the farm become small. They dwindle down. But some of the larger part of them, from their small agriculture, they have to pay for their living, including for education of the young people. We thank God that so far in our country we have free education, primary education. It's free, even secondary education is free in public schools. This has been possible. That is very good. But then when it comes to higher learning education, of course, also many people are aspiring to join that level, but there are some costs coming in. And some cannot make it to the university, though they qualify academically, but when it comes to making it to the university, some drawbacks entangle them as they try to go up there. Of course, we have institutions. We need more institutions according to the number of people, but some situations can hinder smooth growth of this. And apart from socio-economic, we have socio-cultural, and in general, so far people, the number of people who are educated are increasing, so some unfriendly cultural tendencies are disappearing. Definitely, we have a learned community. People are growing up in the knowledge society, so we feel that the progress is doing well. We have Catholic schools, we have other providers of schools, plus public schools in that service. In terms of course, the challenges of our people is also the challenge of the church. So when we are suffering from diseases, some diseases, of course, we are in the tropical zone, some diseases are inherent in the tropical zones. They can be controlled, they can be eradicated. We are doing well fighting malaria on the way. The situation is improving. And some other malnutritional complications are also under control to a large extent. Of course, we have cases of HIV/AIDS, campaigns, education, and information. The progress is quite encouraging, and awareness of people that AIDS kills is high, is growing, it's high. So from that point, we are sure in no time, after some time, people will be able to control this. Drugs, okay, some young people are also indulging into drugs and abusing drugs. We say we have some of the young people who are involved in that line. Of course, civil society, from the public, and also the church is doing its part in order to encourage these young people to have a behavior change. Of course, we have in urbanization is growing. Many areas are turning into towns, some big towns, and repercussions, problems associated with the urbanizations are also visible, like increase of some children who are loitering in the streets. You can see them in the streets, some children loitering in the streets, and they need support as they go along. That also is a challenge for the church, because sometimes when they are in bigger trouble, they turn to the church for the support. So that's how I can respond about the challenges we're facing.
And so, thank you for that information. But also, what about some of the successes that you see in the church in Tanzania currently? Can you name some of those as well?
Yes, the Catholic Church in Tanzania, we can clearly say we register some successes. At the church, some of the major successes, our unity. Our unity is appreciable. When we meet with the other church members from different countries, they testify to how good for the bishops, for the church, for the people, the Catholic Church in Tanzania united. So we are proud of our unity. We are united. And then such a big country like Tanzania, 34 dioceses, and then we can sit together as one conference and discuss our issues in one language and make a resolution together and then agree to implement, that's a success on our side. Because of that unity and because of mutual awareness among ourselves, we are able to initiate programs and projects of national level, of national status, and we manage them. We have, so far in the country, we have 4 universities, full-fledged universities. One is, the original one is St. Augustine University of Tanzania. We have Catholic University of Health and Allied Sciences. We have another university in Iringa, another university in Kilimanjaro. So we have 4 universities and some colleges. So these are owned by the church in Tanzania, not by a single diocese, but the church in Tanzania. So this decision to create them and to own them is in the hands of the bishops. Of course, bishops are representing the people in the country. We have teaching hospital. The one is a bigger one, the referral hospital. And we have more than 500 health facilities. Among them, there are hospitals, there are health centers, there are dispensaries, health facilities. And we are also bigger providers of education. Apart from university, higher learning institutions, we have, starting from nursery school, primary schools, secondary schools, and colleges, some colleges are owned by the church. So, as I say, some are owned by the conference, and some are owned by the dioceses. But because of our unity, even if it is owned by the dioceses, it contributes to the pride of the conference, because it's our achievement. So some of the institutions are owned by the religious congregation, religious institutes. Still, they are contributing to the vision of the church in Tanzania. And even some of the lay people are involved, and they are providing some services as a hallmark of success, and they don't hesitate to acknowledge that it's because of the care they received from the church. That's why they have been able to make such a significant contribution in the society. So in that sense, I can say, in terms of materials, we have the university and all those institutions. But again, we can say, we have a success on how we relate with the others, the Catholics and non-Catholics. We have a smooth relationship with them. It's not conflictual, but it's rational and developmental. We are growing together with others who are not Catholics. We are also growing together with the public, with the state. The state, we know the role of the state in the community. We respect the state, we respect their mandate, but we appreciate that they also respect our role in the society. So that for us is another thing we think, something we can claim with the success. Of course, then, besides that, we are also involved in showing an example to the people that we need also to stand on our own feet. So we also do some small investments which can support our pastoral initiatives. We are also involved in agriculture at the church. Yes, we are involved in agriculture, livestock keeping, and crop cultivation. And we also participate in some civil discussions and dialogues so that we can create together our country in such a way which is pleasing to everybody.
Wonderful. So I wanted to also talk, I know that you're here in the United States visiting with Catholic Relief Services and also visiting here at the USCCB, talking to some of the staff around capacity building and exchanging ideas as well. How are those meetings going? And you've been here since Monday, is it?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Really, I think this is a very great opportunity for us. It's a great opportunity for us because, as my colleague here has said, it's more than 10 years we started the collaboration, solidarity, moving together between Tanzania Episcopal Conference and the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. It's a great opportunity for us because in this opportunity we can sincerely say thank you to the people of the United States of America. I testify that we have been able to achieve our mission, our objectives in the faster way because the USCCB was in our support. CRS has been a very great and very good friendly hand from this country supporting us in our initiatives. Wherever we are, not only in Tanzania, in the whole of AMESEA. AMESEA is the eastern part of Africa, this is a symposium. We always see CRIs is with us. They participate in our conferences. They participate on how we deliberate on solving some of the challenges we are facing. They are really part of us. What we see is painful thing, they feel with us. When it is a success, they rejoice with us. That is done by CRS, but you can also register it from the conference, United States of America Conference of Catholic Bishops. Because they are not just here. From time to time, they take a trouble of coming to our place, visiting us, participating with us, even assisting us on how we think the future will look like. And we have come here, but it's not only one-sided movement. They are also coming. Recently we were with Suga, Fritz. Mr. Fritz visited us, and he took time to talk to us at the conference. He visited the local bishop in Dar es Salaam, the cardinal. He went to the nunciature. He could talk with the people, exchange. This is a very brotherly approach. That shows really a sincere solidarity move. So we thank the United States of America for supporting the faithful who are contributing, who are making these corrections to support the church in Africa. We appreciate the support is contributing a lot. It's making a difference in how we move forward in our mandate as evangelizers in Tanzania. And we think our visit here is enhancing our solidarity togetherness. We think after this visit, our ties between our conference and this conference will become stronger than ever. And we think we are going back home challenged. We have seen how sophisticated, how efficient you are. We have seen how you plan your things and how you make them achievable. So from there, for us, it was a learning session. We have learned a lot. We are going to share with other bishops. We are going to use what we have gathered here as a means of also enhancing capacity of our people. Those who are serving at the Secretariat and those who are serving in the dioceses. So we will share with them what we have gathered, what we have learned from here. And we believe that from our experience, we'll never act in the usual way, but we'll do better than ever.
Wonderful. Yeah. Archbishop, I know that you have several individuals on your in your delegation, and they're also bishops and 2 priests. And where are those bishops from?
Yes. In our delegation, we are 4 bishops and 2 priests. We've come here according to our roles in the conference. I am the president of the conference. I'm also one of the members in the delegation is the vice president. Another one is the bishop in charge of pastoral department. Another one, the bishop member in the financial committee. I'm coming from the Archdiocese of Mybeya. Mybeya is bordering Zambia and Malawi in the south. And the vice president is the bishop of Geita. He is called Flavian Kasala. He's the bishop of Geita. Geita is in the south of Lake Victoria, in the north. We are also accompanied with Archbishop Isaac Amani. Amani in Kiswahili, that means peace. So it's a Kiswahili word for peace. Isaac Amani is the Archbishop of Arusha. Arusha is a great town, and it's very much known in Africa because of its historical importance, close to Kilimanjaro mountain, but also close to big national parks like Ngorongoro and the Serengeti. So it's a tourist place. So Archbishop Amani is in charge of pastoral, and he has come with us. We are also accompanied by Bishop Anton Lagwen. He's the bishop of Mbulu. Mbulu is close to Arusha. Actually, Ngorongoro Crater National Park is dividing Mbulu and Arusha. So these 4 bishops have come according to their role in the conference. So we think when we go back, they will contribute according to their roles. But the two priests, one of the priests is Reverend Father Charles Kitima. This is our Secretary General, the Secretary General of the conference. And he has been here for some time now, more than a month, because he's also attending a program in the Catholic University of Washington. He has been invited as a guest scholar, so for this few months, but he is the Secretary General of the conference. So he's here in our delegation. We are also accompanied by Father Chrysanthus Sindaga. Father Chrysanthus Sindaga is in charge of projects. He has long experience in communication as well. He has been serving in the communication department at Mybeya, that is the eastern side. After finishing his mandate, he came back home, and we found that he could also participate in projects. So he's assisting the conference on the Department of Projects, Planning and Management.
So you have a full delegation, and it seems like they're all sort of on different parts, coming from different parts of Tanzania. So you spread the wealth, I guess.
Yes, true.
So thank you so much for being here, and thanks to your delegation for coming to the U.S. and participating in these meetings to build capacity in Tanzania and to exchange ideas. We appreciate your visit, and we hope you will return and visit with us again soon. Thank you for joining us today. Again, my name is Nicole Germain, and we will see you next time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.